Awesome. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our Teen Tuesday podcast. And of course, as you can hear in the voice, I am not the regulars of the Teen Tuesday. I am the extra hoovering additional person. um, but hello and welcome back. So my name is Mandy, and I am here with the regular of Teen Tuesday, Vuvu. Unmute, baby girl. Say hello.
Hi. You know who it is, Vuvu here. I'm so excited to be, doing, Teen Tuesdays once again. And yeah, we're back on it.
You see, I try to make my intro like how you do your intros, because
Yeah.
this is how you do it. You go,
Hey, down.
Nani,
I
Mulweni,
didn't even
Mula.
know. You did amazing.
Okay, if I get a thumbs up from you, then that means I did the most. But yeah, today, Vuvu, we are going to talk about our theme for the month. We are looking at what we are even using at the moment, just scoping through technology and seeing how it links up with sexual and reproductive health. So, I mean, thank God for technology. Like, you and I can do this entire podcast, and you are a kilometer or two away from me, and I'm on the other side of town, and literally we can have this whole chat and produce something that we can put out to the world. How amazing is that?
Yes. It's so profound how something so small as a phone, no
Mm.
matter what module it is, whether it being Samsung, whatever,
Mm.
or your laptop even, can, help you communicate with people across the globe, people across the province, people across, the country.
Mm.
It really is profound. And we have to thank that. We have to give, a shout out to technology for that. you
Yeah,
know we
yeah.
are able to do everything that we can, in terms of communicating. It doesn't stop here. It's not only me communicating with you. I can communicate with let's say my health specialist or my doctor,
Mm.
somebody that I don't really know that well, your boss, your whomever.
Mm.
I'm just making examples, but
Yeah,
it's really big on communication. So yeah.
yeah. I saw the last jab. Your boss, are you referring to me? Was that a jab for me?
Hey, you choose how to take this.
But yeah, thanks for communicating over to me,
Yes.
coworker. Literally, I think you are already touching on the first couple of points, and it's that technology often gets the flack, especially with young people. There's always a lot of highlights of the negative parts of technology, like since the beginning of technology, our children don't have much of an attention span, and mainly I think when I'm referring to technology, I'm looking at our mobile phones, because technology is not just our phones. Technology is in everything: the lights that we have, the computers we use, technology, the cars that move around, that's technology. So it's a broad thing, but I think for us, we're talking about technology and the information it brings to us. So you are touching already on the first positive points. It gets a lot of negatives, we'll get to those, but for now, maybe let's just look at the positives. And I mean, what type of positives do you think are out there for a young person, either than the one that you've just mentioned, the first one, saying, I'm able to social network beyond my local grounds. I'm able to speak to people in another continent. So you've broadened your social network with technology. What else do you think really technology has done for us as young people?
Well, not only does, it help with, the communication or whatever, just as you've listed, and went into, but we know that with technology, we have an increased access, right? Because technology allows us to have access to greater information
Mm,
and services from the comfort of our very homes. You know, I could be at home right now and need to know maybe how to solve this certain problem, or how to maybe having a question on how this works. You know, we have
mm,
technology now where we can access that. And then another thing is that although it's sometimes a bit of a contradiction, because there's a thing of with technology your information can be leaked, so it's not always a guarantee. But I think there's greater privacy. All in all, it's a given, you know, from what I know, that for people who feel uncomfortable with accessing, maybe, let's say, okay, looking at SRH, you know, accessing SRH services in person, technology provides an alternative that protects their privacy. So it brings that coverage and security, I
mm,
could say, and it enables us to get more than one perspective. You know, I find it very, very cool, because it's a thing of, I'm not just getting another perspective, but I'm getting a perspective that I can relate to, you know, whether
mm,
it being from somebody from my age group, or somebody who understands my generation, or somebody that has the wisdom that I'm sort of looking for, or that vibe that I'm looking for. You know,
mm,
there are so many different types of people on the socials that we come around or come across. You know, some people can even find their role models through, you know, the
mm.
social media or that technology. It's really, it really does impact us, and it serves a great purpose in the current generation that we live in.
Mm. I liked what you said, especially when you were saying, with the information that it provides privacy, and it also gives you a variety of options to pick from. There's nothing as nice as having or feeling a sense that you do have alternatives and options. A quick fact, it doesn't have anything to do with this talk, but um, I was watching a YouTube mini documentary talking about values that countries use, or that the UN uses when they want to evaluate a country if the people in that country are happy. And one of the things that stood out that people identified, or that are part of the criteria for testing if people are happy, is that the freedom of life choice. So, in other words, meaning that if a person has a sense that they actually have choices, they can choose which career they go to, they can choose where they walk around, they can choose what they want to do. That choice, that freedom of choice, is actually part of a curriculum or a criteria for happiness. So when you said, having that option, having choice, and having the plethora of picking from something, is actually something that makes people happy. So that was a very interesting one. And I appreciated when you said, with sexual reproductive health, the privacy thing comes into play. I think you spoke about it last month's podcast, that when it comes to schools and having to ask questions in class, some people feel shy. But when they have the option and the alternative of going home and typing it out to ask that question, and you can get immediate feedback, or using a WhatsApp bot and get feedback, they feel safer and don't feel intimidated, don't feel embarrassed, because they can ask it at the safety of their own homes. So maybe just let's dwell on that for a minute. Like, how important is privacy when it comes to sexual and reproductive health, especially now when we're thinking about the privacy with technology? And I'm worming my way to sort of talk about some of the exploitations of that privacy.
Okay, so I mean, it's a given. It truly is a sensitive topic. I think, you know, SRH is not really something very easy to talk about. I, for one, I don't know if it's just me, or
Mm-hmm.
me being a teen or whatever. But then I think it's even my teacher was talking about it a few days ago when we were in live orientation, yes. And he was just dawning on some points with the topic that we were busy with. And he made it known that it's actually not as easy as we think, discussing about things like sex or safety with sex, or the consequences to this or this and that. So it's important that we find confidentiality in
Mm,
expressing our opinions, or the curiousness that we have in SRH. SRH is highly personal, and many
mm,
people prefer to keep their information private. So privacy ensures that individuals can access care and information without fear of judgment or disclosure,
mm,
and then there's the safety part. In some communities, discussing or seeking SRH services can actually be dangerous or stigmatized,
mm,
especially for marginalized groups like the LGBTQ or whatever,
mm,
individuals or survivors of gender-based violence. Privacy helps um, protect these individuals. So
mm,
it's deeper than we actually think. When somebody wants to keep that information thingy enclosed or whatever and private, it is because we are trying to prevent such things from happening, the judgment or the fear that I might lose my protection in this era.
mm,
That's why it's not really easy for people to come out and say, oh, I'm HIV positive. Get
mm,
what I mean? It's that people are not really as welcoming as they say that they are with
mm,
SRH. There's this thing or idea that I think society pushes, that, oh, let's talk about teenage pregnancy, let's push these things, let's educate people on this and that. But if we're being honest, are we really open to it, enough so that we can actually protect these people when they do come out with their questions, when they do come out with their um issues or whatever, so
mm.
that's my take on it.
Now that you're raising quite an important part there, I think we are very quick to think that the virtual world and reality are the same, and oops, it's not really. And I think you've seen this a lot with influencers who come through and literally 1 minute they are in Porsches, the next day in a BMW, the next day in whatever. And then when it all topples down, you discover, Haibo, it was just a sponsorship, it's not their cars. And
Yeah.
then there we are thinking, no, but that person's life was like that. They were living in a country, they were just renting an Airbnb for that shot. And I mean, like virtual world is not reality. And I think
Yeah.
same applies with what you're saying, even in the context of sexual and reproductive health, that we want to talk about these things, and we say virtually we encourage people to speak out, even ubushabami, we do say, guys, let's keep talking, guys, let's in but we barely get engagement. And I think some of it, the large part of some of the shyness with engagement is, especially when you have to post on an Instagram post, is that sexual reproductive health is a personal and private thing. If
Yeah.
I comment and I say something like this, it speaks kuti nami, either I support it or
Mm.
I'm looking into it. And the reality is maybe we aren't ready to go into it like that. And we must be honest about that. So thank you for raising that one. But it also then brings up the other part, which is a negative of technology. Guti, there's a lot of cyberbullying, which makes people afraid to even say or speak their minds in any way. Do you find that that is maybe some of the hesitation when it comes to talking about sexual and reproductive health?
Okay, so cyberbullying, it actually still exists.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
it's something that we're still dealing with in this day and age. Our guys, yazid, yazid. But then yes, of course. I mean, there are other factors or hindrances when it comes to people really expressing themselves, in terms of SRH and whatever, and engaging. But cyberbullying has to be a very, very serious issue. that can impact SRH in several ways. Because let's look at it. It's obviously people feeling attacked, so um contradicting everything that I said about, the safety and the confidentiality. So it could be the harassment, online harassment, especially sexual harassment, can be
Mm,
traumatic and harmful to mental health, which can
mm,
impact sexual and reproductive decision making, or
mm,
let alone somebody, reaching out to that organization or reaching out to that app. It can't it can't always just be in the open. Sometimes it's as simple as you finding enough strength to download maybe an app that will advise you on abortion or whatever. It's
mm,
literally anything and everything. And then the stigmatization, people may be targeted for harassment based on their SRH status or decisions,
mm,
such as using birth control or having an STI. That comes back to what I was saying. Ukuthi, we urge people to be more open about maybe, their HIV status or whatever, but then there's stigmatization waiting for them on the other side. So this can reinforce harmful stereotypes and discourage people from seeking care, you know. And then there could also be misinformation from cyber bullies. Cyber bullies may spread false or misleading information about SRH, which can lead
mm,
to confusion and harm, because it's the thing of I, as a cyberbully, will maybe comment on Ubushabami's page and say, Uguti, hi, but then HIV is 1 2 3 1 2 3, and maybe you push that stereotype. I think, yeah, this is what they were talking about in class not so long ago. There's this stereotype that when you have HIV, we'll see the symptoms by you maybe being thin, or
mm,
you being
mm,
what. So maybe I, as a cyberbully, attack the facts given by Ubushabami, as sort of redundant as it is. I do that, and somebody reading through the comments, thinking that this is the organization, people will be supportive. There's a cyber bully here saying 1 2 3 1 2 3, and maybe you actually fit that description. You're that skinny person, or you 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then now you feel, and sometimes you can fit this description and actually have that HIV. So what does that say? You
mm,
already feel targeted and harassed.
mm,
So there's a lot. It literally brings a barrier to people feeling more free, you know.
mm,
it,
mm,
and cyber bullies sometimes do it in a discreet way,
mm,
and sometimes do it in a openly way.
mm,
So yes, it I think it really does cause people, or lead to people feeling insecure about reaching out for the help, the care, or the information.
mm.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good way to put it, Kuti. There's subtle, informal ways in which the cyberbullying can happen, and then there's overt, open ways where cyberbullying is obvious. Kuti, la, you
Yeah.
are you are a bully, and I think it's also with the subtle ways about it is even how our humor works. I think we make a lot of jokes as South Africans, and especially as young South Africans, like our problems are a TikTok show. Like, yo, guys, everything and anything can be a joke.
True.
So, and in no way does one say there's no place for humor, but it's to say that sometimes it's hard to draw the lines and to see when we should be laughing about situations and when you should be like, please get serious. This is us talking about
Yes.
actual facts.
Yeah.
So you get, it gets very murky and very difficult sometimes to distinguish the two, and that can offend somebody. And I think also in reality, as Vuvu, another true one that stems for me is, especially when we talk about cyberbullying, is also the understanding that the internet is not your friend like that. And what I'm saying with that is to say that we have moments of sensitivity to anything and to everything. And some things are trigger points to people then aren't trigger points to other people. So it's very hard to distinguish what can be said and how people receive it. I have an understanding of communication to be the person who will put weight, or the person who will put value to the words you speak is the recipient. It's not the one who's spoken them. So sometimes I may say something with no intention to offend you, but it lands on you as an offense because of how you interpret it. So there's that. But there's also vele bengifuna ukudelela. I just put it in a clever way so you don't see. So it's those things become very tricky, and the internet is very ripe for things like that. So the subtle ways of cyberbullying they're very sly. So watch yourself, protect yourself. And I think what do they say on the net? I want to protect my peace, I must keep my peace. So
Yes, peace over everything.
and talking about protecting your peace, another negative that came up very strongly when I read the literature was how being on social media, being on the internet, engaging with different forms of technology actually increases your mental health issues. How? What do we feel about that? Because I can confirm that confidently, but I also think it remedies some of my down days. How does it work for you?
It shows what's really the internet is not your friend. So there's a possibility of the internet increasing our mental health issues. So and so is in the internet, anything is possible. That's what we need to understand. Yeah, bo. So you can stumble across anything and everything. Um, I think sometimes the internet it exposes us to things that we sometimes I think we weren't even looking for in the first place. You understand? So there are worries that come. I don't even know how to explain it. But then yes, but then they are the obvious. The sleep the deprivation is that's me. I get sleep deprived when I really indulge myself on the internet. That's a given because it consumes your time, and that's not where you are supposed to be. Excessive
Ay,
screen
Vuvu,
time. Hey,
you're saying it kindly. Call it by its name when you're scrolling on that
when
application.
I'm scrolling on TikTok, it is bad for our mental health, guys. Because look at it, ne? Excessive screen time can disrupt your sleep. Angish.
Mm,
So that can lead to, poor concentration. If especially when you're a learner like me, poor concentration or mood changes and anxiety. We
mm,
can blame it on home situations or people just irritating us, but sometimes it's just because you did not sleep, baby girl. So you need your sleep. Yeah, mom.
mm.
And then I think, yeah, what I was saying before, that sometimes we stumble upon things that we're not really supposed to be, you know, really at, or how can I put it? Um, I think with the internet, in my experience, and a very prominent issue in our generation, or yeah, but I think it's always been there. If we're being honest, the internet can make you compare a lot.
Mm,
So you find yourself, having that comparison, whether it's cultural comparison, social status comparison, whatever it is, popularity comparison, or even sometimes you even find yourself comparing a celebrity's life with another celebrity's life, and they don't even know you. They don't even know your life. So how
exactly.
your life with their life. It's all of that. So the comparison, social media can make it easy to compare yourselves to others, which can lead to feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem. We find ourselves sort of being our own cyber bullies, you know. If,
Mm,
if I can put it that way, so
yeah.
I think the most common one is really comparison. I don't know. It's something that we need to take the youth itself, sit them down and discuss it thoroughly so it can be put to a stop and an end. You know, it's a thing of you can't really change um the life of Kim Kardashian and then change the life of Zweli Banban on the internet and the life of they are going to be their own people. You
Yeah.
understand? They are going to be in their own space. They're going to lead their own lives. It's you changing your own mindset on how you take that. So yeah, it can increase our mental health issues in that way, the comparing, the whatever, whatever. And then if it's not us being our own cyber police, it's us experiencing um cyberbullying itself, online harassment, and bullying can cause severe distress and anxiety, especially for young people, because sometimes you be very confident in your own skin or whatever, and let's say maybe you're somebody who posts and what engages in social media, and let's say I have a TikTok page, hey, TikTok fele yona. There's so much discrimination, guys. And it's not, it has to be addressed. They're so judgmental there. But then, yes, you can have your little TikTok page going on, whatever. Let's say you do your dances, you do your whatever. Now you find people in the comments, hey, Marana Ilona, is she South African? There's no rhythm. What? Yeah, what?
Mm,
So,
mm,
it's a lot. There's a lot. So I think ish, yeah, the cyber bully is either you are your own cyber bully or they're cyber bullying you. And then I think isolation, if we look at it, spending too much time online, right, can lead to social isolation, which can um lead to existing mental health conditions like depression and anxiety, if we're being honest. Because like I said, you spend excessive screen time and you can't sleep. The internet is your only friend, basically.
mm,
Yeah, well, like it's a good thing that we have the privacy that we have on the internet. We can have conversations with people and the AIs and what to receive help or whatever. But it does not mean that we need to now, close that social life out. I'm not saying be a social butterfly, guys, but engage. You still have a life out of internet, which is what you were saying, Mandy. There's the reality of things and then there's the internet of things.
yeah.
You are mostly living reality, because as soon as that battery finishes or runs up, I mean, um you're in the real world now. There's no TikTok, there's no
Yeah.
what. Understand? So it's important that we keep those relationships alive, or our personalities alive, you
Yeah.
know in terms of not isolating ourselves and keeping things active, man, in the real world. So
Definitely, definitely. And I think you did a good summary by going with it from, even just looking at a basic psychological trigger of your bad moods, just poor sleep. And you sleep deprived predominantly because of your internet misuse. Because we're very quick to then blame the technology that's in our lives for our own lack of self-control. So, you're making me think of when they talk about the plate, the diabetic. So I'm gonna go to my medical training and just put it out there. When they speak about the diabetic plate, you must have certain foods in the plate, certain food groups. You have half of the plate, which is vegetables. A quarter of the plate is your starches or your grain, and then a quarter of the plate is your protein. You don't ever have the grain as the majority, because then that will shoot up your sugars. So my point was saying that is, I think it's the same way when you look at your virtual reality and you look at living in the your virtual reality, your virtual world, and your reality, that half of your life should be spent living your reality, if not, you know, um, 3/4 of your life living in your reality, and only a small portion, a quarter of your life should really just be the virtual world, because you rob yourself of imagination, you rob yourself of physical activity, you rob yourself of, actual physical engagement in its fullness, a touch, a smile, a song that you hear and you share with someone, a moment. You rob yourself of all those things when you rely solely on just the virtual connect, because you won't fully get everything. And I think it's what you were saying earlier as well, that it's great because now you can even talk to doctors, you can talk to health professionals about more sensitive things. But sometimes it's nice to go to the doctor's office and just see their face and be like, oh, dude, a real life person. I mean, you can see them over Zoom, but I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely, definitely.
yeah, I just want to be in that space. Which then maybe also leads me to some final positive points about technology. And actually, interesting enough, it was saying it has the effects of boosting your confidence. So as much as we say, yeah, I know it's yes, it's self-esteem lendole because of the comparison factors, but it actually can boost your confidence. And just think about it. If you put up a video that goes viral, or a video that you are you not the girl? Are you not the one? You are the one. You are the one. You've won.
Yeah.
But and I guess that's a bit of a short-lived joy, because then the day goes over and then tomorrow you're not viral. But it does have elements of boosting your self-esteem. And I think maybe our last points can be dwelling on, especially with sexual and reproductive health and the use of technology and social media. If maybe we can talk a bit about how it would be to our benefit to learn how to use it in a healthy way. And I'm saying this to say, I've seen people teach other people how to crochet um, scarves and hats. They've taught people how to make certain meals, taught people or showcased their talents, like I can sing, I can act. People have done great things. And that's good for your self-esteem, and especially when you are applauded and people appreciate. And it's true, there are people on the net really who have beautiful souls who will encourage you and say, keep going on, keep doing it. It's not all doom and gloom. So how do we use technology, social media to our best advantage? And maybe just chip in and think about, how can a young person use it when it comes to sexual and reproductive health? We were looking at the Forever Winner WhatsApp bot the other time when we had Creators Club. We were also looking at the Be Wise WhatsApp chatbot. We were looking at, different Amaze videos. We were looking at different, even Uki Ready and their videos there, just things like that. And even Ubu Shabam is able to put things on different platforms because of the internet. So my question is, how does a young person use technology to its fullest advantage?
I mean, technology itself existing is already at our full advantage, yo.
Yeah.
Like we said, it's we have option, choice.
Mm,
But I think before going into, maybe your how can I say it, your Ubushabami or those organizations, it's very important that we don't just sit at one answer or at one source. I think
mm,
as young people, we still have the energy most and the adrenaline, or yeah, that stigma to do our research. All in,
mm,
like, we judge what we get on the internet or the information that we receive because we we only rely on that one source, but there are so many reliable sources actually
Mm,
on the internet. So we should use reliable sources to learn about, contraception
mm,
options, STI prevention, and other SRH issues, or it could be a thing of us joining these support groups that are there within the internet. So maybe join online forums or social media groups that provide support and information about SRH. Because I know if it's a group, that means that you guys are engaging again. So
mm,
it does not just end at you maybe watching their videos or whatever. So join those groups because I know it has nothing to do with SRH. But let me make an example with faith, whatever. So as a baby Christian, we are told that we need to really um you need to really engage yourself in community because you
mm,
need to grow, understand. So
mm,
you grow and you develop better when you have those destiny helpers or those people around you that can like show you the way, because it's like it's a different thing being confused alone. But if you know that I have this question and this friend of mine, or not really a friend, but then you know what I mean, um,
mm. A
person
helping
also
hand.
a helping hand. Yes, this person also has that same question, and this one might know the answer, and this one might also know the answer, so they can share that wisdom with us. So joining those support groups, especially if you find yourself in a situation where you are in a critical issue, man, where you need that SRH help or information or care, and
Ask. Ask someone.
ask them. And then it's also something very simple as well. Self-care, guys. Find
Mm,
online resources like blogs, podcasts, and apps that promote mindfulness, self-care,
mm,
wellness. Above everything, it's important that you take care of yourself. Yes, we want to spread information and help everyone and anyone, but you, most importantly, it's important that you are having that peace that we were talking about
mm,
recently. Now, Butsi, protect your peace at all cost. Protect your peace.
mm,
So there's the empowerment of it, joining those support groups and what. And I think social media can help young people feel more confident, like you said, and comfortable with their sexuality or whatever, leading to healthier decision making. So
mm,
if we have that support group or whatever, it helps us, empower us, that we are who we are. Like Ubushabami, it says, Ubushabami futi yimilona,
mm,
below. Understand? So you must, yeah, well, and then the education of it, doing that research, reliable online resources can be a valuable tool for educating young people about SRH, especially if they don't, have access to comprehensive sex education in school. Going back to what we were talking about last week, or not last week,
Last
man,
month.
and Ibona nje. But these topics, they pass by like it's weeks. If I'm being honest, this week, this month is this. It is what it is. So yeah, I think that's those are the two main points that I can say we can do better by
Mm,
or look at, in terms of helping us keep that peace, helping us keep that what stableness or stability within our lives. It's honestly just being informed in the right way. There are ways of being informed in the right way. That's what we need to know. I mean, yes, there's misinformation that exists, but guys, you can be informed in the right way.
mm,
And education and the knowledge that you have is power. Power, 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 power. And I think another thing is us obviously applying the power or the knowledge that we have
Yeah.
onto our lives, that could help us, basically it's a thing of, um what's that common, oh, how they explain a child's mind. They say that monkey see monkey do, so
Mhm.
what a child sees they will do. So it's basically we take it lightly, but it's basically saying that our actions speak louder than our words.
Mm.
So we can talk about this, and what and spread the knowledge or whatever, and educate, through words and writing, but we need to also apply it. So I think, as young people, we need to gather each other up, and if your friend needs that, SRH, what, or education and implementation in their lives, definitely be the one to help them do that. Whether it is, when you learn about SRH, especially here in Ubushabam, we teach, we would say, okay, have maybe that teacher to talk to, whatever, or a parent, and what, and engage with somebody if you have that problem. So you knowing that, put that into action. That is information itself, that's education itself. So it's the little things, like you said, it's things that we need to, yeah, well, if we can fix that kancane kancane, kancane kancane, stovela, there will be improvement.
Velani, velani, and nivele in the best light possible. I
Mm,
think, there's nothing as beautiful. When you go on social media after a great rugby match, South Africa won, you can see the pride of the entire nation online, people supporting and rallying behind the same thing. And you sort of hope and wish it were the same with many other acceptable topics. But it doesn't always work out like that, because we're such a diverse group of human beings and people have different opinions.
yeah.
So but it does show that the power of the masses, sets the tone of how everyone then ends up feeling about themselves. However, the other truth about it is South Africa actually doesn't have majority of human beings on the internet. It
Mm,
doesn't. So you live there and you think to yourself, yo, wonke mundu does this. Wonke mundu ubi influencer. Guys. No, everyone's not becoming an influencer. The large majority of us are average Joes doing average Joe work. It's just a small pool of people who are influencers and aren't going to school or aren't doing X, Y, and Z. It's not like that. And I think it's what you're saying, to say, when you do access that information, you don't have to stick on one narrative. Go wide, go broad, look at what is happening, study further, be inquisitive, and see what else is happening with life. So that informs your reality. And
yeah.
and I think that's maybe one of the big take homes for me, that technology is meant to be a weapon to augment. When they say augment, it means it's a weapon that's supposed to add on and make you stronger. It's not supposed to be the source, nor is it supposed to be a standalone that, takes over everything. So we need to use it for that. It's supposed to be enhancing our abilities to do good things, to do better things.
Definitely.
So maybe that really is our greatest power as young people, because we have access to this technology, to its rapid growth, to access, to etc. That may that be our superpower that helps us to do better, not our superpower to destroy each other even more or to exploit the system even more. I think that is my big take home with um, tech and how it fits in, and specifically with sexual and reproductive health. Guti, if you are fortunate enough to be listening to this, or fortunate enough to, hear this, then you learn, you take what is fact based, you research it further, and you confirm that really this is the way things should go. And that's what it is. It just helps you to make a better decision. So make that better decision. Don't end at, well, this is what she said, then it must be gospel. So I'm not even going to try anything else. No, research, learn more, ask other people around you. And I think that's also another one. We underestimate those who are living and still amongst us. We no longer ask our parents for things because we think they don't know anything. When
Yeah.
when they do actually know a lot. They've lived through so much of life. And even if they don't know the terminology of what is happening, they, or rather, they don't have the terminology to express what is happening, they might have a vague understanding of what certain things mean. So don't also underestimate the adult guidance around you. So I really appreciated that take home, that the community still helps you. And on that note, I'm going to end it off. And I'm also going to give you a chance to end off something with another fact from the criteria for happiness. So, one of the other big criterion factors was actually social generosity. So there's 5 of the factors that are in the criterion list for happy people or happy countries. And one of them is social generosity. That when people feel as though they can give to each other and care for one another, they are happier in that space. And I hope that's how we feel in our social spaces.
Oh, that's so powerful. Hey, wisdom. Yes, yes, man. Yes, good. Good. Having.
Okay, I'm already receiving my generosity back with the compliments. Thanks, Vuvu. Thanks, thanks.
No, man, that's wisdom, man. That's a bar. In our language, it's a bar. It's a bar. You just laid a bar. And I hope that it's heard and it's loud and clear that it's the give and take. I think it
Mm,
goes back to the fact that if we look at humanity all in all, we are we all are here to serve one another, I could say.
yeah,
It's a thing of serve to be served,
yeah.
even that are served are serving. I'm
Mm,
saying,
mm,
if
mm,
I'm making sense, so it's the give and take within our society. It's a give and take in our communities. It's a give and take within other schools that we are in, the institutions that we are in,
yeah.
from the childhood you experience to your adulthood.
Mm,
It's the give and the take. It's the give and take. So it's basically, for example, what me and you are doing now, it's a give and take. How
yeah.
we can exchange that communication and the information.
Mm,
There's something so profound in it. It gives hope, guys. I can't lie. It gives hope. Why is it so important though? Um, that we keep that alive. It's because of the little things that come with it. Like you made an example earlier, Guti. In social media, they are the positives of your confidence being boosted. you know if you post that video and then it goes viral or whatever, um you have that confidence boost to you. So I think with social generosity as well, we are boosted in our confidence, we are boosted in our hope, we are boosted in the empowerment parts of it. So
mm,
it's important that we don't take that for granted. It's amazing what one human being can do when they are when they're put in the right conditions,
yeah.
especially when it comes to your mind. you know because you need to protect your mind at all costs. You need to protect it at all costs.
Mm,
uh, it's a very sharp and strong weapon, you understand?
mm,
So when we're talking about things like our mental health, what, and happiness, it all starts within the mind, because they do say that you create your own happiness. It doesn't just come to you, guys.
mhm,
And so yeah, I think improving the mind and starting there can really help create vision, help embark the hope that is already there, if we're being honest, and the empowerment part of it. So I'm just honestly adding more to what you're saying. Social generosity is a key component of building a more just, equitable, and compassionate society. And at the end of the day, I think that's the most important thing of it, that guys, the relationship that we have within society and humanity all together now. Yeah, well, so yeah,
And,
that's what.
and technology adds to that. It allows us to do it at an accelerated pace, which is
Yes.
why we need to safeguard it so that it's not a poison unto us.
Mm,
Yeah.
real,
Yeah.
so real. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's it for us today. Then
Hmm.
we've indulged so much more, so much more than I expected. Because I thought technology. I was like, technology. Even a pencil is technology. So what are we gonna talk about? I've learned quite a lot, in terms of the mental health that we were talking about, social generosity, the benefits, the risks that there are when it
Yeah.
comes to being exposed to your technology, and the relationship that technology and SRH actually have,
Mm.
and how it can build our young people but also break them. Yeah, it's been amazing, Mandy. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for joining and being here. Obviously, Twin Tuesdays, we know, guys, we never disappoint. The education that is here, we should start a school actually called Twin Tuesdays or something. Start something where, hey,
Anything is possible with
we are
technology.
going far here. We are going far here. So, thank you so much. It's been fruitful. It's been amazing. Yeah.
Thank you, Vuvu. Thank you. This has been awesome.
Uh-huh.
Then I guess that's it. We've laid all our bars, haven't we?
Yes, we've
Did I
laid.
use it correctly?
Yes, we've laid all our bars.
All right. Then that's it. Till next time. Bye.
Ah.